My name is unimportant. My online name, I think, is going to be Fencewalker Archimedes. I'm doing my first video, meant for more than just one person, and I'm going to have to cut this intro down too. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and this is a big video I wanted to do about pot and how it affects me. I am a brain tumor survivor. I suffer from migraines on a weekly, if not daily basis. I have constipation, extreme insomnia. I probably haven't slept in years. I've just gotten some CPAP machine that I'm fighting every day because it is pure misery. And I've been dealing with it all for about past 5 years with medical cannabis. As far as I can tell, there isn't much difference between cannabis and medical cannabis aside from your intended usage. And that's why I prefer to use the term medical cannabis, not pot, not weed, whatever you want to call it. And the video is pretty dark. I'm sitting here in front of my window, even with the blinds closed. My eyes can barely handle this. Every time I'm outside, I'm wearing sunglasses unless I've got extreme cloud coverage. So, sorry for the darkness in the video, it's my eyes, but I think it's important that I publish this and people get to know about it. A little shout out to my sister Julie, who's not really my sister in pain, and all of her endo sisters, and anyone else out there suffering from whatever the hell you got, and trying to deal with it as best as you can. Medical industry is not sufficient. They like to drag their feet, they like to put you in different directions that don't lead anywhere, and they just don't give a flying fig about me. I've even tried to record a doctor's session, and she wanted no part of it. I need to get more active on that, and it's really hard to do that on disability with no vehicle, with all the different sensitivities to light, sound, food, temperature. That's my intro. Hello, this is Fencewalker, and I'm gonna make a pot video. For the past several months, I've been digging through this bag full of mostly male cannabis. The grower wanted to throw it out, and my friend said, hey, I might know someone who might want to try to use it. And I've been using it for about 6 months at least. I dried it out and still had other stuff, but this is a bag of twigs. Now, I've saved all the twigs ever since I started, so that is not just for today. What I do is I turn it into a powder, and I put 5 or 6, usually 5, scoops into this muffin tin, and I make muffins with it. That's a filter to filter out for the powder. I usually just put it over this. And this is my blender full of cannabis. It is a Montel Williams blender, which he calls it something else, an emulsifier or something. And you can see I've got it pretty much packed to the brim. I've stuffed it in pretty good. And now I'm going to blend it. It's going to become more or less a powder like that, but there will still be some twigs left in this thing, which I frequently just throw back into the blender, although some of it could probably be thrown away. So anyways, I'm going to continue this video once I've blenderized this. It'll only take a few minutes. I'll show you the powder and what's in the strainer. Bye bye. Okay, I've just blended it. There's a lot of loose powder at the top. I'm going to try to rescue as much of that as possible. Otherwise, I'll just wipe it on my fingers and lick it up. It tastes nasty, but it's medication. So I blended it, and obviously it gets shrunk down quite a bit. It used to be up to here, so a lot of it was empty space. And I can't quite see it, but hopefully you can. That's the pot, the powdered pot, which I'm about to blend or filter into this. A little hint, don't fill this thing up, because you're going to get refuse that won't go through. So I still have like that much left. I recommend doing it piecewise. You can still manage to find a decent bud in there, but that's why I put it back in there when I've got refuse here. Okay, so I've gotten everything out of the blender, and this is the refuse I have left. I picked out some twigs, threw it in there, and there's still actually some kind of buddy stuff in here, and that's why I just dump it back into there. So that's what I've got now, and this could probably last me 2 weeks. If I put there's probably about 10 heaping spoonfuls in there. So 5 go into here with my muffin mix, and I understand you want it at 350, not 400. 400 will kill off a lot of the pot. Not every bit of it, but enough to not do it at 400. So do it at 350. My muffin mix says 40 minutes. So if you got something that has different times for different temperatures, that would be helpful. So I would also recommend wearing gloves. I got some green on my fingers. This is after I licked it off. So it's going to affect me, but not a tremendous amount. But I'll tell you, that first muffin that I have is always really, really good. And another little stony comment, it's pretty dirty in there, but that's all medication. So what I do is I don't clean it. I just put the leftover back in, and I save it until next time. Eventually I'm going to need to wash it, but when it gets cooked at 350, it should kill off anything that we don't want in there. So this here is 5 heaping spoonfuls. What I mean by heaping spoonful is like that. So it's quite a lot. But I've got 5 in there. That should be enough for each muffin. There will be 9 muffins I cut this into, and each muffin will last me a good day. Okay, let's focus. Here's my muffin mix, and the pot is underneath. We can find it. There we go. There's some of the green in there. Now this whole batch will get really green, there it goes, as I mix it in. I do put in a little bit of extra water, and sometimes I let it go an extra minute or a few. I'll turn the oven off at 40 minutes or about that, and then I'll just leave this in the oven and that way it gets the extra cooking time that I think it might need, because there is extra powder and I'm putting extra water in it. Sometimes I put a little olive oil into it and it seems to make it moister longer, because I'm going to be eating this over a full week and the last one gets a little crusty, so be forewarned. Okay, so this is pretty green. The little red chunks are chunks of cranberry, because that's the kind of muffin mix I got. I didn't really get any on my thumb. I got some on my fingers, and there's a little bit left on the fork. I try to scrape as much into there as possible. I will eat what's on this fork. It will not affect me terribly, but again, it's part of the thing that makes the first muffin pretty strong. So that's why I always pick the smallest muffin out of whatever I cut. They're not always equal. So that's my update. I'll probably be baked, not just literally, not figuratively, by the time I continue this video. Okay, here we go. Finished baking this. It was probably done 10 or 15 minutes ago, but I just turned that off and let it sit. I am a little bit relaxed. I was able to have a bowel movement, so possibly that other stuff has affected me, but I'm certainly not stoned. I'll be cutting off a piece and showing you what my example is. Okay, I have not done this before, so I'm a little concerned about being medicated on film. I'm going to try to do it stepwise. There seems to be layers of medication. The first I would kind of describe as the laughy, stony part that you see a lot of people doing it in the movies. Okay, that goes by pretty quick because I have a pretty strong dosage. Beyond that, it kind of can get depressing if you let it. I call it dark analysis. You get really deep into things and you will take a depressing turn. But if you can recognize that you're going the depressing route, you can get yourself out of it. It's my way of recognizing depression and saying, hey, I don't have to be depressed. Why do I have to go there? Beyond the dark analysis, you can get pretty creative. And I don't really know how to describe that yet. But there's a level beyond that where I want to write shit down, because some of the stuff is good ideas. Most of it's just funny jokes. But I get more of those when I'm at the lower level, the laughy, stony part. When I'm up above the highest that I can get, it's worth being there. I can push away the pain. The way I've described it is if your muscle, let's see if I can say your arm. You take that muscle right on your arm and you focus all your pain in that muscle. And if you can concentrate all that pain on that muscle, you can sort of pull away that muscle. Not pull it off, but pull it away from the rest of your body. It's still connected where the muscle's connected on your arm, but the pain isn't in full contact. It's only in contact in those two spots. Now, for me, it's not the arm on my muscle. For me, it's my frickin' head. The top right corner of my head. I've got the hole in the back of my skull where the tube goes in through my brain. That frequently hurts a lot. I have another hole up here, which you can't really see, but I think once I shave this off, you can see the scar tissue. That can really fucking hurt sometimes. It frankly feels like they're still doing it. And this was 25 years ago. I also have my deaf ear, which is constantly ringing with tinnitus. So this whole upper section of my head, I can kind of pull away from my brain. And I know it still hurts, but it's far more manageable. It's probably time for my muffin because I'm running out of breath now. So that's the gist of my little video experiment here. I hope everything works out well. Alright, it's been about a half hour or so since I pulled the muffin out of the oven. Muffins. Just watching TV. I finished my muffin a while ago. The first noticed effects are the gums in my mouth. I don't have any teeth, so chewing with my gums really gets any of the cannabis from the muffin there first and underneath my tongue. My head feels a little bit better, although a little bit dizzy. It's very minor. I can walk. I mean, I still stumble when I walk, but I do that without the cannabis, so it's not the cannabis. Just want to keep you up to date on the level of medication, I guess. Highness, if you want, but I don't like that word. I'll continue on this later. Okay, I'm still using a light from my television because even that's a little bright for me sometimes. I don't really know if I'm really past the stage or not, but I am laughing at stupid things that really aren't that funny. It's not uncontrollable, so I'm entering that first stage, I think. So just trying to keep it up to date. Okay, so I'm a bit more stony now. Not laughy stony. Getting close to the dark analysis stuff. And I have a stoner theory on that. And that maybe my brain is making me depressed to actually cause tears to come out from my eyes and relieve some of that fucking pressure that's on my eyeballs. Because when I do cry from that, sometimes it's from laughter, sometimes it's from depression. I get this really oily tear, a few of them, out of each eye maybe, and then it goes away. I'm like, you know, I don't have to be depressed. Why am I crying? But my eyes feel so much better after doing that. Now, maybe it's just tears and that's the way you relieve some of that pressure, but I've thought as crazy enough as it might be spinal fluid or whatever the goo that's inside your eyeball is releasing that pressure. And now I'm starting to babble again, so I might go back and forth between this stage and either the last one or the next one. It takes a while before I get to the, I gotta start writing this shit down. Because the ideas come and they don't stick around. Sometimes I can write them down, sometimes they're pretty good. Other times I look at them later, I'm like, no, I don't understand that. And maybe I do understand it again when I medicate it again. So that's a weird phenomena that I understand is associated with cannabis. Anyways, that's my report. Okay, I'm comfortable enough to go outside apparently, because I went to go check to see if my CPAP got here yet, and it didn't. Sometimes I just gotta breathe like that. It helps. I don't know. I was gonna say something when I put the camera on, so I'm getting into that forgetful phase where things go wispy. And most of it is stupid shit like whatever I was gonna put on here. Some of it's good, important shit. Some of it's bad stuff I would rather went wispy. You know? I can't forget the history of my pain, but I don't have to dwell on it. And that can go straight to the whiskey bottle. That's opposed to the anger bottle and the joy bottle. The anger bottle being the one that everyone always uses and bottles up their anger and lets it explode every now and then. Kind of an unhealthy pattern, but it's a pattern. People do it. And the good bottle, we gotta realize that we have a good bottle. And when you enjoy something, you don't have to enjoy it all immediately. Sometimes that's even overwhelming. So put it in your good bottle and remember it. You know, all these bottles, I guess, are kind of versions of your memory, or my memory. So try to put some shit in your good bottle, and if you can remember when you're down in the dumps that you have a good bottle, you might be able to remember some of the stories in that good bottle, and you can re-enjoy them instead of completely suffering from the pain. And that is a part of separating yourself from the pain. Having something else to focus on. And you can push that pain away. Sometimes. Not completely. And you can't forget about it. But the medication gets me to that level. And now I'm feeling a little bit of the depression side again. It seems like my eyes want to cry. And I have felt that way before. That they want to cry, but I don't have a reason to cry for. I mean, aside from the fucking pain. But I've felt that way before, even before the tumor process, which was well before the cannabis. So now I'm going to drone on too long, so I gotta stop. Okay, I remembered what I wanted to say. It was the difference between this plant that I've been using for almost a year now. It was showing signs of being male, so they ripped it out so it wouldn't affect the rest of the plants. So I got it cheap, and because they were not comfortable selling it to whoever they were going to sell it to, with it being low THC. And I don't really give a shit about that. And I'm thinking that the big difference between the THC being high and low, because I've been pretty medicated with a high THC, and it's not like this. It is way more stony. It's not unpleasant at all, but it's more laughing. You know, imagery of cartoons and, you know, orchestra music and whatever, and then them being stoned. Those are some pretty fun trips. But it's not like that quite so bad with the low THC, the high CBD. I'm assuming. I don't know if I want to bother getting what I have tested. I don't know what they need to do the test, and frankly, I don't care. But it might be scientifically relevant, so therefore I do care. So there's a little struggle with that. That's what I wanted to say earlier when I turned it on and forgot. So sometimes things that go in the wispy bottle can come back out. Okay, so now I'm ranting on video and a little bit on Facebook, and then I should probably open up my journal. But I don't think the journal is efficient enough. The thoughts are too quick. They get wispy too quick. So I'm going to try to keep this camera within arm's reach for a while. See if I can think of anything. So let's not waste all this film. Okay, I also want to point out that it doesn't make everything better, but it does make good things better, like good music. I'm trying to watch this stupid stoner movie. I forget what it's called, something about space weed or some shit, and it is not more enjoyable. It is really pathetic and stupid, but I'm okay with that. So it maybe makes me more passive about things that annoy me, like the pain. Alright, bye-bye. Hey, oh. No light. Hang on. How's that? There's more light. Okay. It's good to have friends. Just got a call, and I'm happier. So, just telling the tales of what it means to be a tow truck driver that occasionally does police scenes. So, interesting. It's good to have friends. Okay, for some reason, I'm thinking about not having had any children, which was kind of my plan all along. But it mattered a lot more to me that I would not pass this on to anyone else, especially my own child. I knew enough about science and biology that these things can happen. And Julie is living my worst nightmare. Her daughter has it. Her only daughter, her only child that made it, has it. And I need to do things like this to support her and to support myself. Sometimes breathing helps. Trying to be aware of my heart rate too. I don't know why, but I might be having high blood pressure when I'm this medicated, or high heart rate or something. I don't feel threatened by it. Sometimes it almost feels like, hey, you know, like I just had a good workout or something. But I really shouldn't feel like that if I'm just sitting here. I've had my heart checked. I've had my blood analyzed. I've had all sorts of different tests. The last few were on my hearing, and they don't want to do anything with that I'm willing to let them do, which is charge me up the ass. Now we're working on this sleep thing, and you know, I gotta wait 2 more days for it before I can sleep again. And I'm sure I've bitched about this before. I do it all the time in my typing journal, where I'm pretty sure, yeah, I've bitched about this before. Sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong. That's that wispy jar thing. Sometimes it comes back to you and you don't really remember that you had that thought before, which is probably, I don't think I've had that thought prior to being medicated. So either that's a problem with medication or a benefit to medication, or at least just a side effect. It is something I'm concerned about. Alright, I'm going to stop wasting film. Shit. I don't want no commercial playing in the background. And I had something and I lost it. Take your pain, just anything that even bothers you or irritates you, anything that makes you uncomfortable, and set that aside and see what's left. Is it you or not? That's what I've been asking myself. And I don't know. It's very stony, it's very deep, but I don't know what to think about it. I've seen a social worker and never quite got on this topic. And have not really gotten that in depth with it with my friends. Okay, I appear to be in the depression stage. Making myself weep over that last one. I think it's a good one, but I don't know if I should be bawling about it. So I kind of think there's something in my eyes that wants out. The pressure, the fluid, or something. Because that didn't need to be depressing, what I just recorded. But I sat back and just, went into, oh, woe is me. Woe is me mode. I don't need to go there. I've been there long enough. And that's where the superhero shit starts to come up. Just gotta rise above it, as it were. Not to quote that song, or not to be wordy by saying as it were. So some of the self-analysis can be funny. It has been in my journal. And hopefully it will be on camera. And since I can't think of anything, I'm going to shut it off. Okay, to be honest, this is a part of the stony part I'm not really into. Kind of dumb. But still, my thoughts are calm. And they can wander around, but they don't stay anywhere. It is a floaty feeling. You can't focus on much. I'm surprised I can film this. Um, I want to do more superhero shit. Trying to exercise, do my stance. So, I should at least sit like a superhero too. I don't know. Well, I guess this will just be random thoughts. Okay, that last one I was supposed to be talking about the pain, but it went wispy. And it's actually kind of nice that it went wispy, but I wanted to talk about it. It's at this stage where I can feel it focused up on the upper right chunk of my head. And it's very focused on those 2 points. Sometimes at the ear, but mostly at those 2 points. But it's kind of like I can push it away. And that's the first time I've taken credit for that. It kind of feels like a cross between Atlas holding the world on his shoulders, but not the world, the pain. But he's using the center of my head as a brace to push it away. So, you know, gotta take some good with the bad. Or vice versa. The other analogy is Sisyphus, which honestly would not have remembered if I didn't remember seeing it on that stupid comedy show. Andy Dick compared Star Wars to Sisyphus. And I was kind of curious as to why he would think that. And Sisyphus, I forget what his crime was, but his punishment in Hades was to push a boulder up a hill all day long, only to when he takes a break to watch it roll back down the bottom of the hill. And to do that over and over and over for eternity. And so it's a cross between Atlas and Sisyphus that pushes the pain away. Again, it still really hurts at those 2 points, and sometimes it goes through the ear. That's fucking annoying. But this is what medical cannabis has done for me. To be honest, I don't know what makes it medical versus any other cannabis, other than my intent. Also, since I'm using the one that was rejected as male, to be less super stony. I don't know if any of this is going to make sense. I'm sorry for the weird angle. But eventually I would like to have a better setup, and maybe later I'll show you my superhero stance. Alright. Okay, I almost forgot, but I remembered when I came in from going outside earlier. You can really smell the muffins, and it's embarrassing. Yes, the orange cranberry covers up a lot of it, but you can still smell the weed, and it's just embarrassing. But you know, I don't know. That was something I wanted to comment on earlier. Just still suffering the shyness of it all. Gotta get my superhero on. Well, it's about this point where I decide maybe I could at least lay down and try to sleep. It never really happens. I stop breathing when I go to sleep, so that's why I want my CPAP. But I'm going to give it a shot. It is a little bit restful, but it is not sleep. is far from sleep. So, wham wham, bitch bitch. I laid down for a while and might have even gotten some rest. And then Ed came over, played some cards. Went out to eat, played some more cards, watched some Star Trek with a neighbor. And now I'm just sitting here tired and blah 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 like everything else. Still reasonably medicated. No need for another muffin, but probably tomorrow morning. I still feel the connections of pain on the head, but they can still they're still being pushed away. And of course I'm still a little dopey, but the pain is manageable. So that's my update. Maybe later. Okay, last night was a typical night for sleep for me, which meant that I tossed and turned if I was too cold or I was too hot. I only got 2 degrees, 79, 80, and 81. That's my range, where I'm comfortable. So I tossed and turned most of the night last night. This morning it just got too hot, even with the fan on. And so I'm up again. The sun's coming up. I'm about to have a second muffin. I am in need of it. It's been about 24 hours, and apparently the black Twizzlers that I was hoping I would enjoy did not enjoy me. So they're rumbling through my guts right now, and I'm about to have my second muffin with a cup of green tea. So a new day begins. Okay, sometimes with the cannabis, or with vitamin C, or with lots of other things that can shake phlegm loose, I can cough up some nasty phlegm balls. And there's a minor example. You can't really see it too clear, and you probably don't want to. But it happens a lot. I don't know if it's allergies or just shit I gotta cough up, but it happens a lot. So, minor side effect, you just cough and hack it up, and frankly, that's way better than the side effects I've had from any other medication. That, and this is much more enjoyable. Not that it's fun, but it's more creative. I don't know how else to explain it. Oops, I didn't turn that off, I just turned that off. Okay. Okay, maybe standing with my back to the light will be okay. It's still kind of weird. I can't see my face, so you probably can't either. After my second muffin of the batch that I started, I'm doing okay. I'm really enjoying music again. Although somewhat sarcastically, and I can feel a little bit of depression coming on, and I'm going to see if I can stave it off and just keep reminding myself I don't need to think like that. And maybe that's just fucking stupid. Does anyone ever think like that? I don't know. Is it gonna work for me? Sometimes it does, so maybe it'll work for someone else. Signing out again. See, I keep wanting to tear up. I don't understand why. I'm not fucking depressed, but I'll think these sad thoughts. I'm like, well, fuck that. Let's try to think of something funny. Boy, do I have dark circles under my eyes. That's not funny. Let's keep me in the dark. I don't know. I gotta think of something funny. So, not right now, I guess. Okay, still fairly medicated. But like a superhero, I was able to go out with my neighbor and go have breakfast with some fellow free thinkers. And it was really enjoyable. I couldn't really participate much with a deaf ear, not being able to hear too many people. But this kind woman sitting next to me kept filling me in on, summarizing what's going on. And that was probably one of the coolest things anyone's ever done for me. I mean, that was really cool. I did end up being able to hear them because the crowd kind of died down. It was just cool. And then, me and my brother slash neighbor just had a good time. We balanced out, our deal here, and I'm having a good time. So it's not very super heroic, but I'm trying to make the best of what I got, and I'm not doing half bad a job, I think. So maybe it'll be a confidence builder, my superhero origin story, which really begins with meeting Julie. But I'm sure I'll cover that later. Something else I want to cover is like an introduction video where I'll set it up to where I'm like actually even with the damn screen instead of just frickin' lazy like this. Yeah, more to think about. Okay, this is me about to enjoy the shit out of my turkey burger. I already had one bite. Sorry you couldn't catch it, but I'm going to take a second bite on camera. Let's see if we can... There we go. Mmm. 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 Gotta enjoy something. Turkey burger. Cooked in raspberry vinaigrette. Served with paste pecani sauce and artichoke heart. I also additionally put relish on it. Sometimes I try the miso. That stuff is really disgusting, but it's supposed to be really good for your guts. But this is me enjoying the shit out of a turkey burger. So it's not all bad soppy shit. Still medicated. Duh. Well, I got in a bit of a nap. As much as I could sleep. I can't sleep. I don't even know what time it is yet. It's 7:15 in the evening. Really? And it's Sunday, right? Yeah. So I got another half day or more before I can get my CPAP. I was watching on the line some guy telling a sob story and told him that he said it took about a week for him to get back in order. So I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe I can stop ranting like an idiot. By the way, I wanted to say I was really enjoying the hell out of the strawberry popsicle. And that's about it. So it's almost 10 o'clock. I kind of want a third muffin, but I'm going to try to hold out till morning. But I kind of doubt that's going to happen. It didn't last a full day like yesterday. Let's stop moving the camera. The The pain's probably about a 6. Maybe not quite. I'm used to being at 7 most of the time, which is really fucking grumpy. Fucking grumpy. That's usually when I decide to take the meds. I would assume a normal person would start taking meds at pain level of 5. So that's how much I don't like taking medication. Plus, I'm trying not to waste my life being stoned all the time. I have a conflict with that, apparently. Anyways, just wanted to update. Not yet on the third muffin. Well, I haven't had a muffin. I had a burger. I'm having a coconut popsicle now. And I'll try to wait for tomorrow for the muffin. Maybe I'll make it. Anyways, I'm going to finally watch a second episode of this show that Julie really likes. Good night. It's about 9 a.m. I've made it without having a third muffin, but I'm going to have a third muffin. I've also made it with 0 sleep. Not for lack of trying. So I'm going to have my muffin now. It's about 9 o'clock. It's after 9:30 and my eyes are getting a little buggy, maybe droopy. There was a moment of relief with them, but they're kind of sore right now. So it's kind of the stage where I think they want to cry because they're just under a lot of pressure. And so I'm probably entering that phase where I want to cry even though I'm not depressed. I just have all this frickin' pressure in my eyes. It is very nice to be able to breathe comfortably. And I don't get to do that often. The latest nasal spray is pretty strong, and it works pretty well. I don't know if it works this well, but there are times where my nose is still a little bit stuffy, even though I can breathe normally. So I will get the nasal spray, even though I'm able to breathe with the cannabis through my mouth. I'm trying to sleep, so I'm trying to breathe through my nose. I frequently have woken up with just the driest tongue and lips you could ever imagine. But that's all a part of the insomnia and sleep deprivation and brain tumor and radiation and tinnitus, double vision. Whatever. Next. Okay, I think I've got a better view of the superhero stance. Okay, it's got to be chin up, chest out, hips rolled forward, feet arched. I have flat feet, so I got to pay attention to that. And this part back, but not the other parts. The chest and hips forward, but that middle part has to go back. And the shoulders got to be back. You can't have a bump at the base of your neck. You have to have a pit. It has to be a valley, not a mountain. I don't know what to do with my hands yet. I don't want to make fists. I don't want it to look like I'm jerking off the Invisible Man or anything. But maybe just stand there like a superhero. Alright. That should be embarrassing enough. Okay, I charged up the camera, and it takes a couple hours, and my neighbor knocked on my door, and so we watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and that was really enjoyable again. I can't believe how much I liked it again. And frankly, it reminded me a lot of Fight Club, which is really weird, because the Cameron character has to hit rock bottom before he can move on, and that's kind of part of Fight Club. Anyways, still fairly medicated. Still need it to be dark. Opening the door was pretty bad. So that's the update. He didn't order me the CPAP. He ordered me an appointment to get the CPAP. So, fucking hell. Keep breathing. Okay, it's about 11:30, a little bit before midnight. I'm kind of hungry. I don't feel like making a burger or anything else. My head's kind of hurting. The hole up here. Let's see, right around there. That one hurts. Can't quite. There's one back here that's way bigger, and it hurts to sleep on. And I don't get any sleep, so anyways, I'm gonna have another muffin. This will be muffin number 4, and I wanted to point out that the third that's missing is kind of a short third, so these muffins might be a little bit stronger. In fact, I'm probably going to take this one. This one looks a little bit bigger than the other two, and hopefully it'll last me the entire day. And hopefully I'll be able to experience some kind of level of unconsciousness. I don't get any sleep. I'm a broken record, aren't I? Alright. Okay, I might have a funny one about paranoid delusions. Okay, here's a thought. Is it true that when conservatives want smaller government, do they really mean smaller people? Because the government is the people. It's we the people, of, by, and for the people. So they want smaller people because they like the corporate attitude where, you know, people are fodder. You know, we're soldiers and workers. That's all we're good for. And it's really a shame. So I think that's what they mean by when they want smaller government. They want smaller individuals. And we need bigger individuals. And that would make a bigger government, because the government is by the people and for the people and of and whatever all the words are. Definitely not a corporate lawyer. But that's the fear I get when I hear them talking about smaller government and no taxes. And no, it's not the corporate states of America. Just and normally I would write this crap down in my little joke journal thing. They're just weird, bizarre, paranoid thoughts, and I understand that that's what they are, but they're kind of entertaining. It's like, you know, religion, is it gods or is it aliens? And it's just amusing sometimes. It really shouldn't affect our lives, you know. We should all just respect each other. We can find some basic rules that we can agree upon. And that's my version. I don't think I'm ready to get into that one yet. I had some thoughts on how some people might profess to actually be addicted to cannabis. They might not be aware that they have some kind of level of discomfort or even pain or depression or something, and the cannabis actually helps them out with it. And then when they stop, they realize, well, I feel like shit again. That might make them think that they're addicted. I don't think that I'm addicted. I can go for a while without it, and I can suffer some pretty serious pain. I can function at level 7. I really don't want to, though. And when I don't have time to take a puff or eat a muffin or whatever it is I need to do, I'm not afraid to take the Excedrin extra strength. The problem with that is that it is mostly caffeine, and as a pain reliever, and that can cause backlash headaches from an addiction to caffeine. So I don't think there's any possibility of backlash headaches from cannabis. So in that sense, I would recommend it over aspirin or caffeine or any of those other things. You have to be mature, though. You can't be a stupid fuckhead and think you can make a bunch of noise and not upset people. You can't be stupid. So far, this male plant thing that I think I should probably get tested for CBDs versus THC, it makes me less stupid. I can still laugh, but I don't come up with quite as many noteworthy jokes. It's more deep thought. Some of it's a little disturbing. And again, I think that might be because my body wants to generate tears. Which is a real odd way of saying I'm trying to have an emotion, maybe. That's something I'm also pondering. I think I'm good for now. Something about the panic attacks and the lack of sleep deprivation. I had noticed well before, well, maybe not. I think my first panic attack was on a plane flight. And that was with the gallbladder problems I was having. But it felt like it was my first time ever on a plane, and I'd been on a plane before. It was after that I had noticed that I was going to bed later than everyone else and waking up earlier than everyone else. So I was getting far less sleep than anyone else was. I just thought that was odd. And then at that point I was working graveyard shift, and that made things really fuzzy as to what part of the day it was, how much sleep did I really get. I thought I might have been starting to break up my sleep. A couple hours before work, a couple hours after work, and then be active during part of the day. And that's a bad thing to juggle. But I think I was able to do it because I wasn't sleeping. So it disturbs me to recall these things and go, oh, well, that's like a sign, having headaches that don't generate heat, because migraines don't do that. Wondering why everyone thought I was depressed all the time. Well, because I was probably depressed all the time. not having any idea why. It didn't make sense to be depressed, so why would I think I was depressed? It might have been some of the head swelling, and that's junior high school. So I think I'm in the depression part where I'm trying to make myself cry and release some of those tears or oil or whatever the fuck it is that's coming out of my face when that happens. I don't really feel depressed, but something makes me want to recall things that make me feel emotional about. And again, it doesn't have to be depression, it could be joy too. And I think I mentioned before too that that might also be me practicing how to feel, because I haven't done a whole lot of that. Probably thankfully so. Very thankfully so. Well, I think I realized something. If I really do want to cry, it's Andrea. I gotta think about Andrea. And it's convenient that I have her tattooed on my arm. So, I don't have a reason to be depressed. But I apparently have a reason to cry. And now I'm hoping my eyes are going to relax a little bit after some of this pressure is off. And it does not feel like tears. It's kind of creepy. So I don't know if it's just like I'm dumping out a lot of salts or toxins, or if it's spinal fluid or whatever the hell is inside your eyeball. You know, it's your body's mostly fluid anyways, but it does not feel like water or tears. I haven't really tasted it. I'm not that experimental. Just makes me a little ill thinking about it. But the key is Andrea. If I'm going to think depressing thoughts, I can think them about her. I think she's what is allowing me to feel. I loved her. And that does it. That'll get the tears going. 'Cause that's both sad and happy. I get that. So why do I gotta cry? I don't know. I do like pondering it though. And I'd probably do it a little bit without the medication, but the medication has helped so much with it. I got a lot of work to do, but this is helping. Well, thank freedom for the internet. Blepharitis. Blepharitis. It's the oily tears. Clogged tear ducts or something's going on. Bacterial infection. Often characterized. Is characterized by often chronic inflammation of the eyelid, generally the part where the eyelashes grow. Generally presents when very small oil glands near the base of the eyelashes don't function properly. This results in inflamed, irritated, itchy, and reddened eyes. No shit. Constipated? No shit. Typically caused by excess growth of bacteria that is ordinarily found on the skin, blockage of the eyelid's oil glands, and sometimes allergies. I got a few of those. Various diseases and conditions can lead to blepharitis. Ugh. I'm not reading all that. Who'd have thought? Blepharitis. Whatever. Well, let's see what the symptoms include. Watery eyes, yes. Red eyes, yes. Red swollen eyelids, yes. Crusting at the eyelids, margins, base of the eyelashes. Oh yeah, I don't know what medical canthus is. Medial canthus is. It's blue, so I could look it up. Generally worse on waking. Yes. When that's happened since I was a kid. They told me it was from being in the swimming pool. And I remember my parents had this weird eye wash stuff. I don't ever remember them using it on me. I remember trying it on myself after many years of seeing it. I did not like it. My eyes are very sensitive. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck blepharitis means, but it adds to the pain. I think releasing those oily tears helps fight the migraine, or helps relieve the migraine, or part of the migraine. There's all sorts of shit going on. So it's not just in my fucking head that I got greasy, oily tears. There they go. Eyelids appear greasy. So it's that glazed over stoner look. Great. What I'm trying to avoid. Foreign body sensation. Frequently blinking. Light sensitivity, photophobia, that'd be fear of light. Misdirected eyelashes that grow abnormally. I don't know about abnormal eyelashes, definitely eyebrows though. There's some weird eyebrows. Debris in the tear film seen under magnification. I can't imagine doing that myself. Dry eyes. My mother had that. The inside of her eyelids was peeling the skin of her cornea off of her eyelid. It's really disgusting. So great, more afflictions I've inherited from my sick family. Blurred vision, no shit. Alright, that's enough. I have a better understanding of myself, I guess. The muffins aren't quite lasting 24 hours. I'm getting a migraine again. I'm probably going to have another muffin. It's, well, 6:30ish. And I think I had the last one last night. It was supposed to be a big one too, so... Well, shit happens. I am exercising more, or trying to, and that could be aggravating some of it, but I don't know. It's about 7:15. I didn't really get any sleep, but I gave it a shot anyways. And I made it to the morning for my next muffin. I'm about to eat it. It's muffin number 6. But tonight is game night at the Reason Center. So hopefully I'll have some fun. Meet some people. I don't know if I have anything to say. I'll probably have more to say once the muffin starts to hit me. Okay, I'm thinking of some stoner rant that I just came up with about freedom, and it's slipping. I can't remember it all. Something about how do we let people take our freedom? Or how do you define your freedom? And if you can't do that, then someone else has done it for you. The only way you give up freedom is you give it up. You know, you let someone take it. And sometimes you let a brain tumor take it. Or endometriosis. And become slaves to it. How's that one? I think I'm trying to tear up again, and it's working. So Andrea and freedom-taking tumors. Okay, more superhero shit. When I say fucking superhero, I do not mean fucking superhero. But I kind of do mean it. But when I say fug 'em, that means you gotta become a fucking superhero to deal with them. Whether it's problems or people or what. You gotta just fug 'em. You gotta fug up, suit up, power up, figure out how to continue on with it. And it's a stony idea, but I like it. And I think a lot of people might appreciate it. Especially if they use similar medication. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't hang around other people who use cannabis. But I'm about to. I would like to. I need to know how much of this is just pure insanity, or if it's being stoned, or if it's just allowing myself to be creative. But it's a good head twist. A mind fuck. Mind fug. I gotta fug up. Be a fucking superhero. I got a lot of different thoughts in my head, and I need to organize them. I've been doing pretty good with the journal. I might put that on film one day. Now I'm speaking words that I've heard myself think for a long time. I got this camera a long time ago, and I've been building up to this. And I ain't ready for it, but if I waited till I was ready for it, it would never get done. So that's one of my goals, and I guess I'm in the teary phase because now I'm getting all soppy and emotional. There is a lot of eye crust in there, that blepharitis bullshit. So I need to call the doctor and make an appointment. Let's do that. For the record, thoughts of meeting Julie will also pull tears out of me. That's a nice thought to think of. See you later. It's about 20 after 8 on Thursday morning. I'm about to have my 8th muffin. And I think I need to decrease the strength of the muffin. Not because it's too strong, but because at one a day, they get a little dry at the end. So the muffin yesterday was fairly dry. This one should be even drier, and the last one even drier. So if I decrease the medication, I will be increasing the frequency of eating the muffins, thus making them less likely to dry out. I'm migraining like a motherfucker right now. I went out last night to play games at the Reason Center with my friend James, and of course they had food, and you can't resist some foods. It's been a long time since I had a chocolate chip cookie, and those chocolate chips just melt at the slightest touch. They were so delicious. But, you know, I might end up with several days of migraine from it. Usually from the food, I get it in the back of the neck. It's really bad, and it can last 5 days. I'm not feeling it in the neck. I'm feeling it mostly up in the forehead, behind the eyes, and behind the skull part. So that's why I'm having muffin number 8. That's the update. Yeah, I don't like taking the Xanax. It really works well for the panic attacks. But for sleep and migraines, I'm uncomfortable using it. It's what Marla Singer used to try to kill herself in Fight Club, so that rings on my conscience. But I just took one a little while ago, and I noticed a good amount of relief pretty damn quick. And I realized I took it after eating a muffin, which is another thing I don't like to do, mixing medications. But the fish hooks in the skin, those went away. It still hurts, but it's not fish hooks. You know, it's just underneath. So it takes the pain down another notch. I don't like doing drugs. I'd rather just be doing shit, enjoying my life. And I know that people without chronic pain aren't enjoying their life. So I probably want more than, you know, the average person already gets. I would like to be able to do something with my life. And I don't know how many other people complain about that. I think you have a soul if you want to do something with your life. Whatever purpose that is. Whether it's praising God or adopting babies or whatever your thing is. I don't know. I'm still migraining pretty bad. The cannabis hasn't quite hit, although I did feel a teary moment and recognized it soon. But I'm trying to let it squeeze the oil out of my tear ducts, or whatever the fuck this blepharitis crap is. So I'm seeing the doctor, I think Monday, about the blepharitis. And I'm bringing my camera because I need to ask them questions, and I need some kind of proof that I'm not insane. You know, Does it make sense for the doctor to spend so much frickin' time, you know, once I've arrived, they spend so much time before I see him, and he knows nothing about me? If he was studying up, if he's looking at my file, if he knew why I was there, that'd be nice. But I'm not seeing him this time. I'm seeing the assistant doctor, or whatever it is. And from what I understand, she's more reasonable. And hopefully she'll understand this camera thing, because I know that's frickin' weird. And hopefully she'll have some kind of response to my issues with the medical procedure. That is the medical doctor's office procedures that have been really mucking me down, fugging me up. Anyways, enough bitching. Okay. There's a glob on the left, which is gooey snotty, and the glob on the right the glob on the right is like white foamy. And I've looked this up online. It is some weird either lung and or stomach infection. That is associated with several things, including Helicobacter pylori, or H. pylori, which is a viral stomach infection. They seem to come in clumps like that. Okay, some of that is definitely thicker than the rest. There's something sticking to the insides of me. And you blow some of this out. That is really fucking gross. This does not always happen just from medical cannabis. I have done this by taking the vitamin C and the multivitamins. There was something else I also drank, either orange juice or tea or something. That will trigger that kind of attack. I don't know what the fuck all that was, but now I have video evidence of it and I can show it to a doctor and say, what the fuck? Because this is really disgusting and painful, and clearly it could be dangerous to my health. Well, between the cookies last night and whatever else is going on, allergies, migraines, whatever, I'm probably going to have my last muffin already. And it's about 5 o'clock in the evening, so I don't know. It's the last muffin. I'm going to have to make a new batch, which means that I'm going to have to get these videos on the computer and figure out what I'm going to do with them. Nighty night. I'm out of muffins, so I'm migraining pretty bad right now, probably from those chocolate chip cookies on Wednesday or Thursday night. It's Friday now. Probably going to take an Excedrin and make some more muffins, and hopefully get these videos on my computer and start working on that. I haven't done an intro video. I need to and I want to, but that's going to have to come later. I'm not so organized. I just wanted to get some shit on video. And I want to do this fucking space shit and everything else. I'm gonna sign out.